welcome to our English news bulletin broadcast to you from Canal Algérie. First, to the headlines. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, starts on Saturday a two-day visit to Qatar following the invitation of the Emir Haytham Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. And in Arab cooperation, Algeria and Qatar are on the right path in the process of strengthening the ties between the two peoples and the consolidation of cooperation in the different fields. Following the instructions given by the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, an unemployment benefit will be given to unemployed Algerian citizens starting from March 2022. On the parliamentary cooperation, the President of the National People's Assembly, Ibrahim Boughali, takes part in the 32nd Conference of the Arab Interparliamentary Union held in Cairo and meets several of his Arab and African counterparts. On February 18th, Algeria celebrates its National Martyr Day, a day marked by the inauguration of several state institutions and other official festivities across the national territory. Good evening. Those were today's top stories. First, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, starts on Saturday a two-day visit to Qatar at the invitation of the Emir Haytham Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. The visit is part of the strengthening of fraternal relations between the two peoples and the revitalization of bilateral cooperation between the two countries in order to raise it to the level of excellence. The President of the Republic will also take part in the 6th summit of the heads of state and government of the gas exporting countries forum due to be held in Doha. And between Algeria and Doha, there are fraternal relations and prospects for cooperation and fruitful partnerships. More details with Nabila Zouad.
Algeria and Doha are a bridge of friendship and Arab cooperation, with the same hope for the present and future of both countries and the development of the relations of two peoples united by Arabism and Islam. Algeria and Qatar are on the right track to strengthen the ties and bonds of the two brotherly peoples.
We welcome our Honorable President Abdelmajid Tebboune. God willing, this visit will strengthen the relations between the Qatari and the Algerian states. We hope that the Qatari brothers will come to Algeria and invest more and more.
Our president will come to Qatar. We welcome him here. We, as residents and investors, hope that there will be good relations between Algeria and Qatar, and why not more investments between the two countries.
When we talk about Algerian-Qatari relations, we must first talk about the rapprochement of peoples, and this is the cultural and social dimension, and the historical aspect is true between the two peoples. So there is a political rapprochement which will give new life to the Algerian-Qatari relations.
A remarkable rapprochement in the footsteps of Algeria and Doha at the present stage, and a great willingness to advance political relations to better levels that serve the common interests of Algeria and Qatar in light of the congruence of views on various regional and international issues and dossiers, and in the face of common interests, the strengthening of Arab action and positions vis-à-vis the Palestinian issue and development in the Libyan crisis by adopting a political solution that guarantees the territorial integrity of this brotherly country. Continuous and ongoing coordination between the two countries, as the visit of His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, Emir of the State of Qatar, to Algeria gave a strong impetus to the fraternal relations that unite the two countries, given that Algeria is a pivotal country in the resolution of many Arab problems. Distinguished relations embodied close economic cooperation between Algeria and Qatar, where the Algerian-Qatari steel complex of Bellara is a vast investment project with an estimated investment value of $2 billion, which embodies aspects of the true strategic partnership between the two countries. Bilateral investments also include joint ventures in energy, petrochemicals, fertilizers, communications, tourism and services. A high-level determination by the leaders of the two countries countries to establish opportunities for awareness raising, cooperation in the light of total expenditure, and congruence of views on current developments in the region, regional developments, and issues of common interest.
For the first time ever in Algeria, and following the President of the Republic's instructions, an unemployment benefit will be given to Algerian citizens aged between 19 and 40 starting from March 2022, an allowance that will be maintained until the unemployed gets a job. Melissa Kabash.
Following the President of the Republic's instructions, the pre-salary of 13,000 dinars for the benefit of the unemployed persons registered in the employment offices, ANEM, as well as first-time job seekers, will be paid starting from next March. In addition to the pre-salary, the eligible persons will also benefit from Social Security.
C'est des primo-demandeurs qui sont déjà inscrits au niveau de notre plateforme qui vont bénéficier.
Young people aged between 19 and 40 are considered as first-time applicants and are registered at the level of our platform and will benefit from this allowance starting from next month until they obtain a job. We welcome this initiative. It helps us cover our daily expenses till we get a job. I've been unemployed for the past 3 years, ever since I obtained my degree in electricity. It is a very welcomed decision. Regarding the two pre-employment mechanisms created a few years ago, namely the Social Development Agency and the Professional Integration Assistance System, they will undergo a reorganization. Employees within the framework of these mechanisms will be granted an indefinite duration contracts until they get their permanent contract.
Ils vont être mieux pris en charge.
The employees within the framework of these mechanisms will be taken care of, knowing that they are people without any degrees but are very useful, namely in school canteens, administrations, and public services, for instance. They are surely paid and covered by Social Security, but aren't registered on the pension scheme. Therefore, all these people will benefit from an allowance until they obtain a job. Regarding the beneficiaries of support in the professional integration system, already integrated for the last 2 years, a large number have already joined public, economic, and private companies. It is worth mentioning that the financing of this new allowance is supported by the 2022 Finance Law. All this has already been included in the finance law as planned by the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, with an aim to improve the young people's employability and facilitate their professional integration. The ANEM services have offered a series of trainings. It is worth noting that a platform has been created for people wishing to benefit from this allowance starting from February 25th.
Concerning parliamentary cooperation, and on the sidelines of the 32nd Conference of the Arab Inter-Parliamentary Union in Cairo, the President of the National People's Assembly, Brahim Boughali, met on Thursday with the President of the Arab Parliament, Adel bin Abdurrahman Al-Assoumi. On this occasion, Brahim Boughali discussed the prospects of bilateral cooperation and called for more efforts to overcome the differences to unify the ranks, affirming that Algeria is eager to make the next Arab Summit a success and set it up as a meeting for reconciliation and unification of the Arab brotherly countries. For his part, Al-Assoumi praised Algeria's role in the Arab Parliament and its contribution to the development of its performance, expressing his pride in its role, in the role it played in freezing the granting of the observer status to the Zionist entity in the African Union. Always in the parliamentary activity and on the sidelines of the 32nd Conference of the Arab Inter-Parliamentary Union, the President of the Council of the Nation, Brahim Boughali, also met on Friday with his counterpart, the Speaker of the Kuwaiti National Assembly, Marzouk Ali Ghanem. It was also an opportunity to review the bilateral relations development. Brahim Boughali called for the consolidation of cooperation between the two legislative bodies And for his part, Marzouk Ali Ghanem stressed on the unification of the Arab ranks, after which he proceeded to officially invite Boughali to visit Kuwait. Furthermore, and in the context of the Arab Spring, Brahim Boughali highlighted that Algeria was able to avoid its consequences thanks to its experience during the Black Decade, adding that thanks to the sacrifices made to fight against terrorism, it enabled Algeria to maintain its stability and security. The President of the Council of the Nation carried on his diplomatic activity and held a series of discussions with the Speaker of the Egyptian Parliament, Councillor Hanafi Jabali, during which they discussed the dynamics of the bilateral relations, notably after the recent visit of the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, to Egypt. Brahim Boughali also met with his Iraqi counterpart, the Speaker of the Parliament, Mohammed Al-Halbousi. Both parties hailed the level of relations existing between the two countries and discussed ways for their further consolidation. They also talked about the need to establish partnership between the two countries, especially in the field of higher education. In another meeting, Brahim Boughali discussed with the Speaker of the Parliament of Djibouti, Mohammed Ali Ahmed, the problems faced by the African continent, such as poverty. The two officials during this meeting talked on the need to maintain stability and security factors, in addition to support development by strengthening cooperation in the vital sectors of both countries. The European Union African Union Summit, being held in Brussels, Belgium, continues on its second day in a row. The summit witnessed the participation of the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the National Community abroad, Ramtallah Mamra, as representative of the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune. On Friday, February 18th, Algeria celebrated the National Martyr Day. The official festivities took place in Tebessa province, where a reburial ceremony of the remains of 6 martyrs or shuhada took place in the municipalities of Shra and Tilijan. It was chaired by the Minister of Mujahideen, accompanied by the Minister of National Education, Ines Kilou.
Nearly 6 million martyrs. This is the price paid by Algerians for more than 135 long and dark years of colonialism imposed by France, a colonialism that never stopped sowing ruin and terror. On this occasion, the commemoration of the National Martyrs' Day, the remains of 6 martyrs were reburied in the municipalities of Sharia and Talijan. It was also an opportunity to honor the war veteran or Mujahid Ziyadi Nordin for his revolutionary march before inaugurating the new university named after the martyr Abdelmajid Drid. Tebessa is a province of martyrs and war veterans. The celebration of the National Day of a Shaheed or martyr is an opportunity to remember the important stages of national history and the sacrifices of the martyrs and war veterans. Today, it is very important to consecrate the links and to reinforce the communication between the Algerian people in order to spread the values and principles of nationalism and patriotism to the new generations. Suffering and injustice led to the revolution of November 1st, 1954, a revolution rewarded by independence after more than 7 years of armed struggle, marked forever Algeria's sacrifice of more than 1,500,000 of its brave war veterans. It is at school where our children learn the history of their country, as well as the principles of nationalism and patriotism throughout their educational path. Our educational curriculum is based on the national historical reference. The martyrs of Algeria, whose stories became legends and examples for many people around the world because of their sacrifices, whose names are numerous, names that should not be forgotten. They constitute our memory that must be remembered all the time, especially on Martyrs' Day.
On the same occasion, several naming ceremonies were held across the different military infrastructures with the aim to pay tribute to our glorious martyrs. Melissa Kabaj has more details.
Major General Mustafa Ismaili, commander of the 3rd Military Region, has named the Cold Warehouse 31 under the stewardship of the 3rd Military Region in Bashar Province after the martyr Mustafa bin Hamlili. During the ceremony, Major General Ali Sidan, commander of the 1st Military Region, named the central establishment of the military health logistics in Bida Province after the martyr bin Gargura Ahmed, and that of the 1st Transport and Circulation Regiment after the martyr Bilqasim bin Dali. Still in the 1st Military Region, where the Major General Sadiq Ismail, the Central Director of Equipment, presided over the naming ceremony of the establishment for the maintenance, repair equipment and electronic systems in Bufarik after the martyr Ahmed Kourabasha. For his part, Major General Ahsan Sliman, deputy to the commander of the 6th Military Region, named the headquarters of the 64th Autonomous Infantry Battalion in Ingazam Province after the martyr Akha Mukhuma. As for the headquarters of the 11th Mechanical Battalion, now it bears the name of Martyr Shlayit Rabah, following a ceremony presided by the commander of the 5th Military Region. In Brira, the commander of the National Gendarmerie of the 1st Military Region presided over the naming ceremony of the headquarters of Intervention Group 29 of the National Gendarmerie, which now bears the name of Martyr Amar Mohammed. In the 2nd Military Region, the commander of the 38th Mechanized Infantry Brigade named the headquarters of the 1st Mechanized Infantry Battalion after the martyr Mbarki Mohammed. On the occasion of the National Day of the Martyr, the Direction of Communication, Information and Orientation of the General Staff of the National People's Army organized a ceremony at the Army Central Museum under the motto, February 18th, Message of the Martyr to the New Generations, in homage to Algeria's glorious martyrs, in the presence of officials and figures of the National People's Army, university professors as well as students. The national anthem was played alongside a minute of silence in memory of our martyrs. A documentary film was also projected under the title, Not to Forget Our Martyrs.
To COVID-19 updates, and according to the Health Ministry, Algeria has recorded 316 new confirmed cases of coronavirus, 270 recoveries and 8 deaths during the last 24 hours, a situation which still requires vigilance and the respect of the health protocol. In the international news, the European Union is called to play a positive role in the settlement process of the Western Sahara conflict, a call made during a statement given by the President of the Sahrawi Arab Republic, Brahim Ghali, during the 6th European African Summit held in Brussels. Ibrahim Boughali also stressed the need to respect the law, international legality, and move towards the decolonization of Western Sahara. In Morocco, collective protest is spreading throughout the kingdom. The demonstrations continue in Jarada, in the northeast of the country. Moroccans took to the streets on Thursday to protest against the rising prices of basic necessities, in addition to the closure of water and electricity meters belonging to some poor citizens who could not pay their bills, according to local media. The demonstrators called for the departure of the government and end injustice. Meanwhile, dozens of shopkeepers closed their stores in order to denounce the socio-economic conditions in the region. Always in Morocco, where the Moroccan Association for Human Rights called for protests to be organized on Sunday across the country in response to the call made by the Moroccan Social Front on the occasion of the International Day of Social Justice, a day which comes at a time when the country is experiencing a serious regression, whether in terms of economic, social, environmental, civil or political rights. The Association also expressed its full support to the different social movements in their struggle for the right to a decent life. That was it for our today's news. Thank you for joining us.